We don't have anything that is clinical. We have a quality of forward line, especially these wide areas, and an attacking mid area that simply doesn't cut it at this level of football. It just doesn't. So yeah, the possession was great. Yeah, we had them pinned in, but unless you can do something with it, I'm sorry, it's toothless. And that's on Ange, because he's accepted these players and he said, I've been backed. So that's what you're going to get. And when you don't take advantage of that possession because you don't have any good players in that wide attacking mid area against the top 10, what happens? 1-2 chances of the opposition and our high line gets completely exposed, because once again, for the 297th time, we cannot play a high line the way we set it up. One ball not only split our defense open, but we couldn't even track the runner that tapped it in when the ball was squared to him. So
still, let me ask you.
Look at the goals today, Sava. Defensive screw up for the first one, tactical screw up defensively, and individual errors for the second goal. We only scored because of an own goal. If it wasn't for Dan Burns, this game's 2-0. So
it was going wide, wasn't it? When you looked at it from the other angle, still, everyone thought that he basically was going in anyway. And then when you see it, it was going wide.
Listen, even if it wasn't, the fact is it's gone down as an own goal, right? So,
but still, just quickly before I bring Eugene in,
fans are going to say unlucky. It wasn't. We're not good enough. The players aren't good enough.
Still, I want to ask you, why though? Yeah. Why is that penny still not dropping with so much of this fan base? Why are we still watching every goal is the same? Right, I'm not saying a carbon copy, but every goal is due to gaps in behind our back four, one ball over the top. Every goal is the same. But still, people are going, yeah, but Ange hasn't got the players to play this. At what stage are we going to say these tactics are shit? They do not work?
Because unfortunately, we've got the type of fans that say things like, we didn't deserve to lose today. I'm sorry, if you can't defend, you deserve to lose. What's happened to our fan base is they think just because we attack, just because we have possession, and just because we're on the front foot, that makes us great. There's 3 sides to football: basic, entry-level coaching, and I'll teach you all now in the chat, and anyone that watches this show later on: defending, attacking, transition. Otherwise known as in possession, out of position, transition of the play. We do one of these and half of the other. We don't defend when it matters. We don't. We can't man mark this tactical high line. How many more games are we going to watch this rip us open? Newcastle were not great today. And I said before the game, Sava, when I spoke to you, I said I fancy a draw today because Newcastle don't look good this season. And I think there's enough of us in the attacking play to get a score draw. And I fancied it. And you know what? That's exactly what would have happened today, just as I said, for the reasons I said. But the tactic, this high line, has cost us. Again, we weren't unlucky. The attacking forwards are not good enough. If we had Eze and Neto and Kvaratskhelia today, this isn't finishing 1-1. Spurs are winning that game. We would have won it. But we don't have the players. We don't have the quality. But you know, Ange has been backed. We're a great team. We're going to get top 4. It's for the birds, man. It's for the birds. And when we play Arsenal now, who have got one of the best defenses in Europe, what do you think is going to happen in that game? Declan Rice or no Declan Rice? They can defend. They can actually defend.
I mean, look, let me big up Haz. Let me bring in Eugene. Sorry, just quickly before you do, Eugene, I'm sorry. Phil, I'm not having this. This isn't a reaction. I've said this since Ange came in. This is now, since that 10-game run, this is now the 30, sorry, that was 28, 20. This is now the 32nd game since that 10-game run ended that we're still conceding these same shitty goals. This isn't reactionary. I'm sorry. Eugene.
If it was reactionary, Phil, then explain to me why we haven't beaten anyone in the top 10 except for Villa since December 2023. Fact. Another top 10 team, look what happens. These are facts. If that's reactionary, then you don't understand what facts mean. And you're just being dishonest with yourself, my man. And no one can help you with that. No one can help you with that.
One thing I'll add to that as well is it took me till about, let's say 12, 13 games, let's say between 12, 15, before I definitely started seeing this ain't going to work on the long run. And I've been saying it ever since. Eugene Savas still has. We can bring on about another 20 people on here that have been saying the same thing now for, what do we call it, 9 months, 10 months, whatever. We've been saying the same thing consistently over and over and over again. And it's not just being negative. Even on games we're winning, we were still saying the same stuff because we were still conceding the same goals. But because we won a game here and there, and we obviously scored more goals than them, it was just putting a bit of paper over the crack, wasn't it? We've been saying it the whole time. This system ain't going to work in the Premiership over 38 games against top teams. So tell me where it's reactional to game by game. We've just, obviously you have a reaction to every game, but we've been saying the same thing for nearly a year now. But yeah, it's just because of one game we've gone into one, isn't it?
Let me bring Eugene in. Everybody, please smash the like button. We're only on 570 likes. Sorry, I've just lied to you all there. We're on 540 likes, and there's 1,103 of you in here. We should be on 700-800 likes. And please do subscribe to everyone in here. Subscribe to Eugene, Persuasion. Subscribe to Hotspur Hood. Subscribe to Stell at Tottenham Away. And Haz, are you still going on your channel?
Yeah, I'm still doing videos. Yeah.
Put the link in the chat. And by the way, I am trying to get to 13,500. We're only 70 away, and there's 1,125 you in here. Eugene, we've got Arsenal as the next game. When you look at it, Eugene, you look at the first 3 games and you go, right, Leicester and Everton has to be 6 points. A draw at Newcastle, you're happy, 7 points from 9. We've now got 4 points from 9 with Newcastle, with Arsenal to come, followed after that, I think, in quick succession with matches like West Ham, Man United, Brighton. Is this a case of that Ange could be under real big pressure in the next few games if we don't pick up some wins?
Tava, thanks for having me on. Big up to Stell, Dan, Hesper, Harry. Honestly, right, I'm going to say this, right? What Stell said is all that need to be said, right? We have not improved. That's the first part since last season. And the way we've been playing with the high line, we knew all the while it would be suicide football. And especially when we lose VDV without, we could see that ball over the top, right? Wasn't the first ball that went like that. Dragosin covered twice, if I'm not mistaken, that ball over the top. And I think the last one that went over the top where was it Murphy who ran straight down, right? And passed it to Isak. He was being chased by Bissouma.
Yeah.
Dragosin, where the hell was Romero?
Yeah.
But guys, honestly,
he had a bad game.
To me, right, I've seen this over and over again. Okay. From 5 years ago when Poch was in charge, we never improved. Now we've gone up to Ange, and of course, last season when I was telling everybody we ain't doing shit, and everybody's hyping on my back, right? I'm not talking about you guys, the other channels. Oh, you watch and see. We're gonna get a brilliant, wonderful transfer window. We'll bring in the quality, guys. Brenda, how many chances did you have? Right? How many chances did you have? And the sad part is, there will still be people out there defending all this shit for the past 24 years. We've seen this going over and over again. Arsenal, what did I say? What did I say on Dan's show? Dan, we beat Everton 4-0. What did I say? We were papering over the cracks in that game. We were papering over the cracks. And the cracks all showed today because we created all these chances. We stole the ball off Newcastle how many times? Right? We had 2-on-1s, right? Brendan Johnson couldn't even pass. I mean, God, Odegaard, Son was screaming for the ball, and he shot. He should have, when they had 2-on-1 at that time, right? He should have passed the ball to Son.
Eugene, I mean, everyone, there was something today that I noticed that has actually scared me. And I don't want to say this, but Vicario. Now, shot stopper, I still say
he had a shocker. He had a shocker today.
Yeah, but That's what I'm about to say. But do you know what I'm really starting to see with him over the past 3 games? Again, only 3 games in that. I think the man actually looks physically weaker. I think he looks weaker in the air. I think he looks weaker at, how do I put it? Okay, he hasn't got people muscling him up in the corners anymore because of the rules. But when he came out and tried to punch that ball, if that's what he was actually trying to do, and that happened about 3 times where it was like that.
Wasn't there an instance when he fell over? He came up to punch it out and he fell over or something. I remember that.
Yeah, that was where he basically jumped up and sort of, instead of punching it, he sort of quite lamely sort of.
Yeah.
I'm not going to describe it how I saw it. Seriously, I rate the keeper highly.
Yeah.
But I'm actually starting to get a bit worried by how he's looking in the air now. I think he actually looks weaker than he did last season physically.
But guys, we have to.
Didn't he say to the press that his corners were an issue for him or something?
No, but not just the corners, in the air, full stop. I think he looks weaker. I think he looks body weaker.
Yeah, no, he is. But didn't he say to the press like he was weak in corner? What was it? Corners of something like that. It's a piece of corners for kicks.
But guys, the thing is that
guys,
we
he doesn't command his box on set pieces and on any balls into the box. He doesn't command the penalty area. He doesn't command the box. You watched yesterday. I know they drew. I'm not talking about the result. Look how Raya commands the penalty box when it comes to set pieces and balls in that box. He's a different caliber of goalie. Look,
he doesn't.
Vicario is a great shot stopper. It stops there. It stops there.
He doesn't have. Vicario doesn't have the physicality. You know that when he was in the preseason friendlies, right? When I watched him play, right, I thought, what the hell? He's lost weight.
But Eugene, you can be slim but still command the box. Do you remember Gomez, the octopus? He was quite a slim goalie, right? Look, what's his name? Edwin van der Sar, very slim. It's about you commanding the box, and that means you've got to read the play, anticipate what's going to happen, and make the move to either punch, catch, smother the ball,
and be more aggressive.
How can we command the box though when our own defenders don't command the box?
Oh, the defense is a problem in itself as well, man.
No, man. Where were our defenders? That's my question.
You know, like Romero and Dragusin, and I don't blame Dragusin on this because he's a new boy, right? But Romero is meant to be our World Cup winning, you know, Rolls Royce centre back, and he ain't pulling people around in the box, telling them you be there, you mark him, you do this. You know, and what he doesn't do as well, right, is he doesn't lead by example, a bit like what King did. King led by example. He set the standard, and Romero's not doing that now. Look, I think Romero in a better team will be a far better defender than what he is at Spurs. I'm almost 100% sure of that. So I'm not just singling out Romero. There's other people to blame. Adoji. Right, he doesn't concentrate, the lad. He just does not concentrate. His position. He
does lose it, doesn't he? He does lose his concentration. I agree with you.
Yeah, and I don't like the fact that Romero thinks that he feels the need to go further up the pitch and effectively be an attacker and make things happen, right? Which then exposes us even more in this suicide football. Tactics and formation that we play. It's just nuts. Why isn't Ange saying to Romero, no, I want you back there because this is how we play?
Because he doesn't practice defending. That's what I've come to the conclusion of. We don't do defensive drills. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Not to the level required. Not to the level required. We don't. It's heavily our defensive ideology is keep possession of the ball so the other team can't score because they haven't got it. Focus on that. But capitalize on the possession with scoring goals. Here's the thing: we don't capitalize because you haven't signed proven quality in the wide areas or the attacking mid. You haven't bolstered the squad from last season because Odebert today, no end product. Brennan Johnson, no end product. Werner, the usual crap we see from him. Kulusevski can't play out wide in this system, right? You haven't bolstered it, so all this possession you're teaching them to have, they can't capitalize on it against a top 10 team, which means. When you do have to defend, your possession philosophy collapses because you haven't coached at defending and you haven't set it up tactically. And this
look at that line we had for that goal. It's that goal. Look at the line we had of the defense. They're all all over the shop.
It was exactly what they did to us last season. Exactly the same, one of the same goals. But It was exactly
and
the
Maddison,
same from the same
guys,
club.
I want to say this as well.
Maddison
You see,
weren't good.
Maddison, he's not the guy. Maddison
No,
is
he's
not the guy.
He's not the guy.
Maddison is not the guy. He's not.
I thought he was our best player in the second half.
Come on,
I don't know,
that's-
Sab.
oh, no, come on.
Oh, hang on. He's the only one that gets on the ball and tries to prod and probe and calm the game down. Look at his footwork for when he got fouled.
Sava,
What do we want from him? What is it that we want from James Maddison?
Goals, big chances created, and assists
Yes.
in the big games, in the top 10 games, in the top 10. Just like I want from Kulu, Werner, Johnson, all of them.
Who's he meant to assist when look at all the bodies around him again?
Yeah, but
I thought he was our best player
agree
second
with
half.
you.
I thought he got on the ball and dictated, and he nearly scored.
He didn't dictate, Sava. He didn't.
He had a good shot.
Who's got more
No,
on the ball?
you're just against him. I saw this the other day. You're just against him now.
No, Sava, I'm saying it now.
How did
I
we
never said
score
it
the
last
goal? How did we score the goal?
Was
I
it
don't
Maddison?
know.
Madison over to Johnson.
Hang on. We scored the goal through James Maddison getting the ball, beating his man, cutting in, having a shot, saved. Right? What was our other shot on target? James Maddison.
We got
20 yards out.
The goal.
Turn.
We got. Sava, a lot of players took shots today. The reason we scored is because Pope absolutely screwed up. The commentators blamed Pope.
He had a terrible game.
Isn't it?
He was worse than our keeper.
Right.
He had a bad game.
Right. I'll tell you what it is. When I watched Eriksson play in that role and I watched Maddison, Eriksson for me was a far better player in that role. And do you know what? I'm beginning to think now. This is why no big club. This is why no big club has ever come in for Maddison.
Yeah, hang on,
Eriksson played for Man United and Inter Milan. There's a reason.
But still, we're not comparing apples and apples. Eriksson didn't play in this god awful tactic of Ange Postecoglou. Look in that first half, right? Look in that first half. Every time, all the wingers do is get the ball, cut in, and there's 4 or 5 Spurs players all on the edge of the area, 20 yards out. I don't want every player there. That should be where James Maddison is on his own. But all of our wingers cut in. All of our centre-backs go and play in the middle. Our full-backs go and play in the middle. I don't know what we're expecting.
But Sava, if we're going to criticise Ange and the team, right? We've got to then criticise the players as well. They're all playing this formation. They're all willing to do it.
I didn't say we didn't, but when we're saying Maddison's not that guy, Maddison.
None of them are the guy. None of them are.
I'm saying you put Maddison in a team that actually plays with a playmaker. This guy does very well, as we saw at Leicester.
And you put Romero in Man City, and he'll be the best defender in the league. I mean, like
again, no, Maz, this is nonsense. This shit you keep coming out of Romero. Look at both goals today. Look at Romero. Hang on, I can't. Hang on, let me finish. Look at Romero.
Tactics and crap as well, Savvy. You're not being balanced now.
Hang on. Let me finish. Stell, shut up and let me finish. Sorry, but you got to let me finish, right? The tactics we can talk about all day long. Do you know what I like? Adogi, who was out of position for the goal, the second goal, fair play to him. He tracked back at least. He put in 50, 60 yards of running to try and track back. Romero, you look at him. He's standing on the halfway line for their goal. The ball goes over the top or through the middle of them all. Romero's jogging. Romero's jogging while Tonali sprints past Romero to try and go and join in. Romero's just watching him. He's watching him and watching him. By the time the ball goes in the back of the net, Christian Romero hasn't even made it to the edge of our 18-yard box, right?
Because he hasn't got the space.
Hang on. No, Stell, no, again, that's a lie. He was jogging. He wasn't running, right? The first goal. Hang on, no. Hang on, the first goal. You watch the first goal. They've got a throw-in our half. Romero is halfway up the pitch, right? When the ball gets pulled back into the box, he's jogging again and nowhere near Harvey Barnes. Why are we not allowed to call that out? Why is it?
Call it out.
You can call it out. You can call it out. You can call it out. But you won't call out Maddison, though.
I thought Maddison was shit first half. Second half, he got on the ball. Second half, his shot created the goal. He made the keeper tip one over the bar. I didn't see anyone else doing that.
I thought Romero was good first half.
Yeah, exactly.
Romero's good first half.
You're thinking we're not criticising Romero. We
Hang
are
on.
criticising.
Right, okay, when did Newcastle score their first goal?
Sorry?
Right.
When did Newcastle score their first goal?
35th, 36th minute.
Now, I don't know if I'm a genius, but that's within the first 45 minutes, which is the first half. So, no, he didn't play well first half. He was nowhere to be seen for their goal. But Romero is never, ever, allowed to be called out. He's world class.
No, he can. Sabi, you can call him out.
Just because it's sees the goal doesn't mean a defender is not.
Hang on, one of you. I can't. One of you.
Maz, you
Just
go.
because the team concedes a goal doesn't mean the defender isn't playing well.
But look, sure. Okay, he had a good first half. I don't know what he did, but he had a good first half. Dragoshin in the first half, he's the one putting in the tackles. What did Romero do?
Okay, Saba, can I reframe this?
What does Romero do?
Saba, let me reframe this. I'm not just digging Maddison and saying Maddison's not that guy. What I'm trying to say is I think there's a lot of players in this team that aren't that guy, right? So it's not just Maddison. There's a lot. Sure, I'm happy to meet you halfway on this. I think the way we're set up actually makes good players not look as good. And the reason I say this is why Romero wasn't like this in Italy, and he's not like this with Argentina. At Spurs, though, we've got problems with him. And like you just said, Maddison wasn't maybe like maybe people weren't calling him out at Leicester, but he's come to Spurs. I think the way we're set up in general is harming a lot of players.
I agree with you.
I'm happy to meet you halfway on that. I'm happy to meet you halfway.
You've literally stepped in and said what I was going to say. I was going to say, basically, I think I can settle this for everybody. Maddison was not the worst one on the pitch, but he definitely didn't have a great game. But the problem is, I'm 100% with Sava on this side, as in, how long have I been saying this to everybody now? And it's a repeat over and over again. When you got your number 10 now, and he's got a forward there, 2 inverted wing backs there, 2 centre backs there, and a centre midfield there.
Exactly.
What the hell is the fella meant to do? I'm not just backing you here, Sava. I'm going by what I've been saying for months on end. They say it as well. And on the other side of it, where I'm going to back basically everyone on here, what Stella's just said, he's right. This system, it don't work. I'm going to repeat a sentence again. You go and get a bang average team. You go get everyone in the right position and right tactic, you'll make them look good. You go get an excellent team, play everyone to their wrong way and that, you will make them look crap. Maddison is not meant to play with 3 or 4 players, even 5 players, within 6 foot of him. Udoji, Porro, not meant to be inverted wing backs. Johnson, Werner, they shouldn't even be on the bloody pitch. But we haven't got the players there that are meant to do what they're meant to do.
That is what I've been saying, Dan, right? I've been saying, right, I'm judging everyone based on this formation that they're all playing in the team. Hence, I'm being critical of everyone, right?
Yeah.
I'll criticise Romero just as much as I've done Maddison, just as much as I've done everyone on the pitch, right? I can go through the whole team and criticise them to the hill and back, right? But I think Maddison's a really good player. So my expectations of him is really high, right? So when he doesn't perform, I get annoyed with him because I expect so much from him, right? That's why I'm banging in on him all the time.
But when he's in that number 10 and he's got no flipping space to do it, what do you really expect of the man?
Can I say
something about Maddison? Can I say something about Maddison?
He's got 2 assists this season, which means he can find it. It's just when we play top 10 teams that are just better than Ipswich's, Southampton's, Everton's and whatnot, then you see what we're about. And our players, they're showing us that this system doesn't work for them. By the way, I put Basuma in this category. Again, he failed to boss the game for us. I put Basuma in the category.
He was awful today.
And Pape Sarr's overrated, by the way. Pape Sarr's overhyped.
Jogging around the whole fucking pitch today, right?
Sorry, James. Sorry, sir. I know you wanted to go.
Sorry.
No, you're all right. You're all right. Listen, I know Maddison's getting stick, and so he should. Yeah, he should. But you tell me once in that whole 90 minutes when he got the ball where you see a winger make a run in behind, you saw the striker make a run in behind. He took a touch, turned, and they're all fucking standing still. I'm sorry, Dan, but Kulusevski is the worst fucking player in this squad. We try him right wing. No, it don't work. Let's play him left wing. He can't play left wing. Let's play him up front. He can't play up front. Let's try him Cam. Can't play Cam.
Guys,
we're all calling out different players. This is
guys, can we all the F word, please?
Sorry.
All stop the F word. Thank you.
Sorry. But for me, it's these front 3, 4. They're awful. The only 2 attacking good passes in that game were from Romero and Porro. The rest it's just redundant. The moment Maddison gets the ball, the whole front 3 stood still. Son, I've been calling Son out for 2 years now. He got played the ball to. He had more touches than anybody on that pitch. Touch inside, I can't do anything. I'll cut back, lost the ball. Trying to take people on his own corner flag. He's awful. He needs to go. All of that front 3 have to go. No more excuses. And Ange does deserve criticism in that.
At the start, through the first half, either he did actually get into a couple of open spaces.
Yeah, but he's awful on the ball. He's on the ball. He's shocking.
I'm not saying he's a great player, but he's not.
No, he's awful.
Who would you? Well, who would you rather on the right? Johnson.
Kulu can't play in the
For me, if you're asking me who I would play, my front 3 would be. My front 3 would be Will Lancashire, Mikey Moore, and fucking Alfie Devine. Sorry, said it again. Alfie Devine. They're the front 3 that I play because the rest are useless. I'd rather see that. I would rather go into a game and go, you know what, let's see what happens. I see the same every week from Johnson. I see the same every week from Timo. I see the same every week from Kulu. I see the same thing every week from Son. So let's just keep playing them. I swear, like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So let's keep trying and hopefully...
It's Ange's tactics, mate. It's the tactics. It's the tactics. Go and
it's
play
not
these
just
players.
the I'm sorry, but Brendan Johnson's got a 4-yard pass to make and he can't make it. That's nothing to do with Ange. Kulu's got a 4-yard pass to make and he can't make it. That's nothing to do with Ange. I'm not saying Ange isn't to blame, but when everyone on this channel says our front 3 is bottom half of the table, but let's blame Ange. I'm sorry, there's 4 5-yard passes that we don't make.
No one said that.
That's not Ange's fault.
No one has said that. No one has said that at all. Everyone has grilled the manager and the whole bloody team. So nobody on here said that. We're just picking out player by player now. And you've basically jumped in at the point where we're doing that. We have picked out pretty much and had debate already on here about everybody. And I've also stated this whole system works for about 3 players on that whole bloody pitch. I'm not saying that we ain't got a very poor front line, but everyone has basically been picked out. It's not just picking on one.
Last week on multiple channels, your channel, my channel, Savage channel, Haz's, everyone's channel, and then you, and then he, and then she bang the drum. Look at the stats. There's no end product. There's no output with Odegaard, and fans overhyped him. Today, tell me a chance he created, a cross to a Spurs shirt that created a good opportunity, a killer pass, an assist. Odegaard did nothing. And the one chance he had to impact,
I can't believe he missed that. I just can't believe he missed that chance.
No, do you know why? Yeah. Instead of headering it, he tried to chest knee it and sent it wide. Yeah. That's a player that isn't that one second, Beatrix. That's a player that's not good. And I said this. I said, we need to wait and see with this kid. We need to see what he does. I've seen 2 games, and I see a lot of huffing, puffing. This guy can't blow the house down for me so far. I'll give him a season, but this is why I agree with James. Our front 3 are shit. I'm good.
I think they're the worst in the league.
Who signed them? Who signed them?
They're not good enough.
Who signed them?
Sabra, I agree with you. I agree with you. You know I do.
No.
Yeah, I disagree there.
Well, you see... Honestly, do you remember?
Ange said I've been backed, but Ange said I've been backed.
No, I know, I agree. I think Ange is the biggest yes man going. I do, but I think that is different to being backed and saying that I signed these players. Maybe that's me being naive. I don't believe he went into Levy and said I want Timo Werner. I don't believe he went in and said I want this 18-year-old from Burnley.
Then you should leave.
You should leave. Then you shouldn't have said everyone that.
No, I agree with you, but
then he's got to do a Conte. He's got to do a Conte and throw a grenade.
I agree, but that's a different conversation to he's picking his players.
So hang on,
he's facilitating it. He's facilitating it.
We think that Daniel Levy has turned around and said, right, Ange, you've got to have Timo Werner. I really want to pay his 165 grand a week. This is Daniel Levy we're talking about. For me, he brought him in last year and we had all the excuses for 6 months that it was to cover Richie and Son because they were injured and the Asian Cup. And sure, cool. Okay, fine. He'll be gone in May. Then his very first signing is Timo Werner, right? Surely if the manager didn't want him, he'd go, look, I've seen him for 4 or 5 months. I don't want this guy. There's no way Levy will go, I definitely want to sign him. What benefit is there to Daniel Levy to signing Timo Werner?
But didn't he come out last season and say multiple times this front three isn't good enough? But then we now think he said if he said this front three, no, but this is what I'm saying. But if he said this front three ain't good enough and they re-signed Timo Werner, how does that make sense? Make sense.
Apparently, I heard that Ange was more pushing for Werner more than Levy. That's what some reports.
I personally listen, maybe, but I'm only saying my opinion. And my opinion is I can't see anybody pushing for Timo Werner.
Is that the refresh that he wanted? He wanted to go and sign Odegaard to complement Johnson on the right. Is that really what we've gone for?
But did you see a Ange interview saying we've been watching Odegaard for 2 years?
Yeah. Sava called it yesterday, I think, or the day before.
And we're saying Ange wanted him, yeah? We're saying Ange picked his players. They're the players Ange wanted. We've been looking at stuff for 2 years. I agree with you. I agree. But this is where I'm saying, though. I think there's two separate things. I think, yes, man, no one can argue with me that he's a yes man. You can prove it, facts. But to say he's been given the players he wanted, I don't believe he got that. He won't come out last season and we're going to win the league next year and then knowing that we're going to sign Timo Werner.
Okay, wait. Can I ask you a question?
Hang on, James. All right.
Yes, man.
Can somebody please tell me then? Because this is what happens. Whenever a player comes in, Van der Ven's brilliant. So it must have been an Ange player. Werner's shit. I don't believe he wanted him. Right. We've got to make this make sense.
I've said this enough, mate.
Right. He signed the bloke twice, Timo Werner, right? Mm-hmm. And again, no one can give me a reason. What is the benefit for Daniel Levy to try and push that signing? It's a guy that he's having to pay 165 grand a week. If this guy was on 50 grand a week on loan, I can pretty guarantee you go, that's Daniel Levy, that is. But this guy's on 165 grand a week. At what stage has Daniel Levy turned around to Ange and gone, you must take this player into the club? I fail to believe it.
I am with you 100% on this. I have called out enough times, mainly on like chat and that. Well, hang on a minute. Why is it we go and get players like you said, Van der Ven, Vicario, whatever, and other ones that people label, and Johnson when everyone thought he was great at first? Well, I say everyone, people did think he was good. No, that's an Ange signing all day long. Ange wanted them. It's fits system. It's Ange. All of a sudden, Timo Werner comes in on another one. Everyone knows he's absolutely crap. Loads of people say it. What are you doing? And then next thing you know, I'll say more than 3/4 of the system turn. No. That's Levy. That's Levy. That's not Ange. That's not Ange. And then all of a sudden, Odegaard. Oh yeah, fits the system brilliantly. And then as a proper stinker, no, do you know what? That's a Levy one, That's a Levy one. No, make your mind up, people, yeah? One or the bloody other. We all know how the system works, yeah? If we're all going to be honest with ourselves, we all know that basically half the players he got, if not more, were basically shoved in his face, and it's either that one or that one, mate. But then you've got to be consistent with it as well in the aspect of, well, is Ange actually picking his players? Because it's what he said, and I'm only holding a man to his word, but we know what Levy's like. But to go and get Timo Werner for the second time, the second season, and then Saba said the rest of it, why the hell is Daniel Levy going to get in a done and dusted, wound out player like Timo Werner for 175 grand a week with the money he's paid on that when he could have just bought one of the youth through? And I don't think anyone would have buttered an eyelid. It makes no logical sense.
The youth was decided before the transfers.
But you see what I'm coming with, though. Yeah, Dan, he could have gone and got. Why the hell would Levy go out and get Werner?
Right, I think this is semi-right and semi-wrong. Okay, and this is where I'm at with this. All the previous managers, I've always blamed the board, and I've always blamed Levy, and I've always said Levy out, ENIC out, and I'm still ENIC out and Levy out to the day I die with this club because I know they are the biggest problem. However, when Conte came out and did what he did in the media and then got sacked or left, that changed everything for me as a fan. Because then I thought, do you know what? He's actually calling them out. Top man. Thank you, Conte. So now I'm looking at my manager. Are you going to be a man of honor and a man of integrity? or are you going to be a corporate Gareth Southgate waistcoat wearing yes man? And this time around, if this goes wrong, which is looking like it might do, I am blaming all of them. Levy for hiring him, Levy for hiring Lange, Lange for being a yes man, saying, oh, the club's been looking at Odegaard for years. Lange, you've only been here for 9 months, so clearly you're not in charge. I'm going to blame Paratici because he's bought some dross in the past, Veliz, Solomon, whatnot. And I'm going to blame Ange because he's publicly come out and said, this is on it. Right, if you're going to own it, then you're going to own it. So I blame all of them, Dan, this time. Right. All of them are to blame.
I'm going to blame. I'm going to blame to everyone who defends Ange.
They all need to go.
He's had ample of warning from Poch, from Jose, from Conte. Right, and all the managers that refused to join Tottenham when those top managers left, right? For him to come into to know what Spurs is like, right? There's no manager that comes into Spurs now after Conte that should get grace from the fans, right? They have to prove, right, that they are what they say they are, and they're the people to run the club, and do that by winning games, right? Signing good players, right, and sticking up for themselves basically, and not accepting shit from the ball. Right, that's why managers, when we took, what was it, 3 months to get a single manager because no one wanted to come to Spurs because they saw what Conte said.
He was our 7th choice, mate, wasn't he? 7th choice or something.
Exactly.
I agree, mate. I agree. Everything just
I'm not backing Ange.
Guys, it's all Levy's fault. He brought in Ange, right? It's because Ange is going to be the yes man. We are seeing it all happening again right now. Whoever's got a yes man.
I disagree. I disagree.
I'm not even gonna bring up Levy on this. You know my views on Levy. My problem is, first of all, we're just not good enough. That's just when it comes down to it. We're just not good enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Your Doji not good enough. Benzema not good enough. Maddison not good enough. Romero not good enough. This team not good enough. And I will say this, what frustrates me about Ange, on that first goal, if it was any other manager, Conte, Jose, they are turning heads. And all you see Ange does is put his hand in his pockets.
Yeah.
You can't compare Jose and Conte. They're winners. they're the best.
They do that. He has this
personality, though, isn't it? I'm just saying,
Ange has this face where it's just like, and then
he's not inspiring at all on the touchline. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like, when I see him,
hang on, Maury, can I? I just want to look. And again, I'm not gonna stick up for Daniel Levy, right? Because everyone knows I've been Daniel Levy out for however many years. But I'm sorry. The problem is with this constant narrative that it's just Levy. Daniel Levy doesn't set up the team to be that easy to defend against.
I agree.
I'm sorry. Daniel, he's got, listen, to go back to the point about Romero, I watch him defend for Argentina. He can defend. I watch him play for Tottenham Hotspur and I go, Jesus, you're always out of position. Now, if you get a proper manager in that knows how to work with defenders, there's no chance that we're on the halfway line. And I'm going to show you this. Look. Have a look at this, guys.
Give Conte that defence.
No, just to push.
Hang on. I'm bringing something up. Look, right? Look at that, right? Yep. Have a look at that. The gap, right? If we look at the halfway line, the gap from the halfway line to, I think it's Joe Linton who plays the pass, right?
Yeah.
The gap from Joe Linton to our back four is about, 10 yards? 15 yards maximum? Right? All of them are on the halfway line. Have a look, though. Have a look at Porro's body shape, Dragashin's body shape, and Udogi's body shape. What are they all doing?
Romero's not even looking.
Right, but that's my point. What are they all
But
doing?
But even Dragusin, why is he not doing the offside trap?
Guys,
No.
This is Sava. This is what I said at the start of the show. The basic of man marking. We don't man mark.
We don't defend.
This is my point. My point is, guys, you have a look at all of them are on the halfway line, right? So straight away, you and I all know the moment a ball goes over the top, that is a defender's worst nightmare. Defenders do not want to be tracking back to their own goal to defend the ball. They want the ball in front of them. And just set them up that we are there 15 yards away from Joe Linton, who makes one pass, puts it down the middle of, I think the ball went down the middle of Romero and Dragashi.
And Dodgy.
Right, and a dodgy, right? But look, one of our centre-halves, I'm not digging him at it, but one of our centre-halves isn't even going the right way. One of our centre-halves then didn't turn. Porro's nowhere near it. Dragashin's not quick enough to be defending on the halfway line. And I'm sorry, that can't be on Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
That bit is not
Sava,
on Daniel Levy.
Can you bring that up again? Can I point one thing out? Sava, bring that up again a second.
Bring that up. Please, guys. Just one.
Right. Do you see what was missing now? Does everybody really see what was missing now?
Yeah.
What's that?
Number 6.
Number 6.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was going to get to that.
Yeah, because let me tell
you.
Number 6 in the middle, he intercepts the play.
No, that's not the point I'm getting at, but I'll make you right. It is. There was one thing missing now, and we didn't have him on the pitch today. Van der Ven. And that is why he's so bloody important. Because one thing you can bet on is if that would have been Van der Ven now, he would have been able to get back and cover it.
And the manager has to adapt.
But I know, but I'm just stating what was actually wrong there. The fact that Van der Ven wasn't there to cover to cover everybody's backside like he usually does, game after game after game, and he has to come back and do it. That is exactly how it is done.
Let me finish.
He can usually get back and cover it. Sorry.
Let me finish my point. I agree with Saba, and that's why I was like, you can't bring up Levy. This comes back to Ange, and the reason why I say this, and I mentioned his reaction to that first goal, is I really question: does he have a command and presence at the club? Like, for example, Romero would not get away with that at Argentina. He does that, he's getting crucified. Any other manager is going to chew him out, and the players. Another thing I question about this club, and I was telling Sava this on one of his shows, like, who's the brain in this club? I questioned for years the intelligence of this club. The reason why I wanted Locatelli is that he is an intelligent player. He's an intelligent midfielder. We don't have. I can't tell you who's the smartest guy, who's the most intelligent player on that field. I can't begin to tell you. And we have no command on that field. That's what, for me, I watched the game. I was literally bored because I know we were going to struggle to score. Thank you, Dan Bird. Because we were atrocious. Like, literally, went to sum it up, we're not good enough. It's going to be a long.
Mari, remember in the group chat what I put in there? I said we are brainless. We don't play with our heads. That's all I'm going to say, right? Yeah. I don't know why we're bringing all these players, but
Eugene, we don't have any leaders in that team. There's no one there to come on and tell you go here, you go there.
You know what?
Where's the leadership in that team? There's nothing.
You're a dumb team.
I went downstairs just now. My uncle's watching the Spurs game downstairs. He's a Spurs fan as well. And my uncle's sitting there and he said, do you know what I just don't understand? Right? He said, when you watch our players, he doesn't know where any of them are playing at any one time. Everyone seems to just go wherever they want to go.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So when you actually watch us, and by the way, he used to, I'm not going to say who, but he used to be the head of academy for a Premier League football club, right? So he knows his onions. And he said, you watch them, there's no calmness. There's no strategy. It just almost seems that whenever Spurs have a bad half of football, what we do is we go all gung-ho, chaos, to try and get back into a game. And people go, attacking football. It's not attacking football. Because what Newcastle did was Newcastle, after they conceded, they rode that storm for another 10 minutes, didn't they? They rode the storm. They quickly realised, hang on, Spurs can't pick out a pass. You know what I mean? We can't pick out a pass, right? And then all they then started doing was slowly but surely, and I'm not saying they were good guys in any way, last 15 minutes, slowly but surely, they just started to go, right, hang on, one ball over the top, one ball down the channel. Because we are chaotic. We are absolutely chaotic as a football club. And I see things like, well, he kind of plays like Pep. No, he doesn't. Oh, and, Ange's style is better than Arsenal's. No, it's not. So we're brilliant at the back. You speak to anybody. All our back four getting above Arsenal's. You speak to Spurs fans. Oh, they're better than all Arsenal's, right? All of our midfielders are brilliant. Our forwards are good, right? We've got a good squad. I watched a show yesterday with Dan, Stell, Dietrich, you were on it, Ian was on it, and Adrian. And I'm listening, no offense, I'm listening to Adrian and Ian sitting there go, this is a stronger squad. Guys, this is the stronger squad. Are you ready?
That's what I've been saying.
This was our bench, right? Forster is awful. Spencer's never done anything in football. Davis is 400 years old. Alfie Devine, we know he's only there because we've got injuries. The brilliant generational grey that Ian and Adrian were waxing lyrical about. Can someone stop that buzz? Cheers. Hello? Right, the brilliant grey, who was generational, better than Højbjerg. They'd rather him come on. He doesn't even get on in games like this and doesn't get a start over crap like Papa Sarr. Bentancur, okay. Bergvall came on again today, kept giving the ball away. Johnson's shit and Werner's shit. Please tell me where we are stronger. A whole summer. Sorry, I'm really frustrated how more people are not seeing this. A whole summer. That is our bench away at Newcastle.
Can I read you one comment Ange post-match? Did you see what he just said? So another someone, unfortunately, we haven't got the rewards for our play, but ultimately 3 strong performance from the 3 first games. Is he okay? He really thinks we played well the 3 first games.
Yeah,
mate.
on track.
The excuses he's giving, he's starting to sound about as straight as a bloody roundabout.
The results don't reflect in that way.
I blame the journalist. I sent a picture to Stell showing the formation that we were playing and where the players were on the pitch, and four or five of them, right, were all over the place. And Stell goes to me, "Are you sure that they are the right players with the right names on the pitch?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's it, right? They're all over the place." And I think what makes things worse is that throughout the 90 minutes, Ange lets them take more and more and more risks when they're going forward. So they even look even more chaotic as time goes on. And what the teams do, right, and all 3 teams done this, although obviously Everton were a lot worse than the others, right, is they absorb the pressure for 10, 20 minutes because they know they're not going to finish our dinner, and then they do exactly what you said, Sab. They start pinging the balls up the top, and by then we're gassed, right? We're too tired to then start picking them up and running back, or we've lost concentration. And this happens every single game, near enough. That is
one bit.
Can I just share something?
Get tired, concentration, and then balls over the top, and we're done.
Can I just share something? Just to defend Maddison. Can I share something quickly? Sava?
Yeah, sure. Go for it, man. Sorry, I was just finding some more stats and facts. You know, I like facts and stats.
Just to defend Maddison, this is from minute 1 to 51, like the passing plays. Look at Maddison, how congested he is.
Mate, it's mental. It's so
and look at the
bad.
space. Look at the space. Where's the striker?
Dietrich, what are you showing here? What are you showing here?
No, it's just the average position and the passing plays we did from minute 1 to 51. Look at Maddison. This is Maddison, number 10 here.
Yeah.
And look at all the players surrounding him. And look at the space here.
So then Maddison should run into the red circle and pull away.
Yeah, but where's the striker? Where's the striker?
I don't care where the striker is. He needs to identify the space and exploit it.
Yeah, but hang on, that's easy to say. But he plays more off the left, and Kulu plays more off the right. You can't blame Maddison for everything. It can't be. Oh, well, that's his fault as well. He needs to be there.
I'm not blaming him for everything. I'm just questioning what I'm seeing. I'm challenging this. I mean, look. At the end of the day, was the master of finding space and pulling away. Okay, so I don't get it. Do you know one thing? And this goes to every player at Spurs now. This isn't about Maddison. Iggy made a really good point many months ago when we were talking just football in general. And he said at AC Milan, they had stellar players. Maldini, Baresi, Nesta. And if they felt something wasn't working, as grown men, they would go to the manager and say, "Boss, this doesn't work for us. I'm not getting the best out of me like this. You need to change up a bit." and let's work on it together and see how it works for us. What we've got is a manager, Ange ball or no ball, and players that are too afraid from the looks of it to go out to manager and say, if you're Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie or Porro, and this keeps happening, why haven't you as a force said, right, we got to speak manager. This is
no, they tell him they tell him happy birthday on Instagram. That's the only thing they do.
In fairness, though, how do we know that they...
And when it comes down to it, this team doesn't have a command on the field because our manager doesn't have the command of the team. Just plain and simple. Yesterday, I'm watching Atletico, and they won with a late goal. But throughout the game, right, there's no panic. They still have that command, though they have not scored, because they get that. Of course, he's a legend, Diego Simeone, right there. That team's the extension of Diego Simeone. Hey, we're going to pull this out. They have that command on the field. Like someone said, when things go rough, we panic. There's chaos. It's just like organized chaos, and we're calling that beautiful football. It's not beautiful football. What I saw beautiful football was Harry Redknapp, Poch, right? That's beautiful football. This is not beautiful football. This is wasteful football. That's all I see.
Murray,
can I add to sorry, mate. Go.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I'll just say there's 2 points I want to make. Number one, I think we found out at home to Wolves last season, and I think since then teams know the blueprint to beat us. Because remember, Wolves beat us with those 2 balls. Yeah, at home to Wolves. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I think people worked out the blueprint very, very early on how to beat Tottenham.
And since then, it's not been the same. And also on the transfer window, I just want to say something. So we know we went 18 months without signing a player. I'm 100% sure Poch was offered players during that time period. But did he say yes to all of them? Clearly no, because he said no to a load of players he was offered. Just because Ange was offered Werner and all these players, he didn't have to say yes to all of them. He didn't have to say yes to any of them. And on Conte as well, this is proven. He said he didn't want Spence as a club signing. So Ange agreed to all of this. So we should hold him to his word when he says these are all my players, because he had the opportunity to say no. All the other managers before him said no to players.
And Levy wouldn't argue losing less money, would he?
Yeah.
I just want to bring up a point. First of all, Phil, there's a huge difference, mate, between me saying that they're quality wing backs and quality fullbacks. Both of them aren't defenders. I don't care what anyone says. Porro and Udogie are caught out time and time again. They're not defenders. Now, guys, I've just had this sent to me, right? Again, remember I did that, all those facts that people said, they came back and went, oh, Sava cherry-picked, even though I cherry-picked 9 months, apparently, right? Tottenham Hotspur are away form in our last 12 league games, right? Bearing in mind, this is a team that fans go, no one in the Europa League should worry us. Liverpool 1-0 up, by the way. Luis Diaz, who I was told not good enough for Tottenham. Our last 12 away games, bearing in mind, this is a team that we were told can just go and win the Europa League. No one in there worries us. This is a team that we were told, yeah, he's been backed, Ange Ball top 4. Our last 12 league games, right, played 12, won 2, and that was against Sheffield United on the last day of the season, who were relegated, and Nottingham Forest, who finished 17th. 4 draws, 6 defeats, 2 clean sheets. That was Aston Villa and Sheffield United. And we've conceded 2+ goals in 8 of those 12 games. Mm-hmm. Please, someone tell me now, what is Ange good at? I keep seeing this, that he's brilliant. Other than his PR and this machine that he seems to have grinding for him, what is that this manager does why so many fans like him? Because all the stats are crap. Yeah, that's now 13 wins in 32 games. Right? What are we doing here?
A lot of fans love the man's personality. A lot of fans, Spurs fans especially, don't like drama as such, even though we get a shitload of it. Pardon the French, sorry. even though we get a lot of it. Yeah, same as the club don't like drama. It don't want players that are going to cause drama. It don't want players that are going to confront managers. Fans, a majority from where I've only, compared to you lot, been doing this 13 months. I see a high majority of the same. I've only been doing X for a little while, winding people up on there. And yeah, it's so easy. And so many of them are the same. It is so diverted in that way. They don't want the drama man there. They don't want the Conte calling the club out for what it is, because they actually know what the bloody club is. But they don't even like to admit it to other fans. Conte put it down and he dropped the bomb, mate. He dropped the cherry. And everybody knew it was true. Even the ones that did not want to admit it and still ain't got the balls to admit it to themselves, let alone other people, did not want to admit it. The fans at Spurs in general like his attitude, as in being a nice yes man. Might as well have a Foster's in his hand when he's watching the bloody game. He's good with the press. He's good at putting the press in their place at times as well. He's got a comedy side to him and everything. He can look a little bit serious when he wants to. He's a nice fella. And that is exactly what Spurs are. Does anyone remember how long ago I said this? We are just too bloody nice.
And Joe, I'll tell you one reason. I'll tell you what Ange is good at, right? I'm sorry, Mas. I'll tell you what Ange is good at, right? Ange is good at, right? Playing the ball in the opposition half and playing horseshoe football. That's all. It's not about scoring the goals. It's not about creating chances and all that. We just play horseshoe football. Go down to one end, come back, U-turn, go down the other end, come back, U-turn, go down the other end. I've been saying the whole last season. That's what it's good at. And why our fans are so enthralled with him is because the past few managers that we were stuck with, we played defensive football, counter-attacking football. That's why now we're like, oh, that's our problem.
Eugene, it's actually a lot more simpler than that, in my opinion. I think the only reason fans like him is because we kick the ball forward. Because all I ever hear, all the rebuttal I see in the group chats, I get arguments with people. They're like, well, don't you want Conte and Jose back? We played low blocks. Do you want? That's all I ever get replies. So
with this squad, I would, yeah.
I know, but that's the replies I get most of the time when I criticize Ange's tactics. It's like, well, don't you want Jose Conte back? So we play low block again. We're playing attacking football, even though it's just what's perceived as attacking football. Anyway, that's
look,
I'm gonna say it. No, has after.
Guys, it's got to be one. It's got to be one.
Yeah, sorry.
4 people are trying to talk at once, and
they lack so much creativity when they go forward. But I mean, what I see at a basic level, right, is our midfielders don't grab hold of the ball and dictate it. I.e., Basuma are Maddison does more than the other two, granted, right? But all of the attacks, and I think Dietrich's little diagram illustrated it, either go down the left wing or down the right wing, right? Which is predictable when they're defending, right? And they just cut it in, right? Either cut it in, right, for someone to run down the line and cross it low in the box, right? And if we ask any of our attacking players to do anything different than that type of attack, it all falls to pieces. They don't do anything. They always do the same attack. That's all they work on. When you look at the Spurs PR videos on their YouTube channel with them training, that's all they work on. And then when you see the games, that's all the attacks they try and do. And I think it's as simple as that. That's how basic it is. So Ange's tactics, whilst I agree with Stel that it will work against the bottom half of the league, but we'll see this season, right? Because 2024 has been diabolical in terms of form, right? I can't see us ever improving because that is what he drills them to do. There's nothing new coming. Our set pieces are all the same. We don't do anything different. Our attacks are all the same. The way that we defend is still the same. So
set pieces were improved.
To be the same.
Yeah, I disagree with the set pieces. I think
set pieces were improved. Now we're doing man-to-man mark.
Yeah. No, I don't mean. I mean going
attacking. Attacking set pieces.
Guys,
the only thing I would. Sorry, Phil, go on.
I was going to say, you know, when you say we shoehorn. Here's the thing, right? When you've got all that possession, you've got a team pinned in, and we have Newcastle pinned. Okay, Man City will have Haaland, Silva, Foden, Savio, Gundogan, De Bruyne. But we could just roll it all off all day long, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you need to grab that possession and put the ball in the back of the net and create the moments. We've got Odeberg, Werner, Kulu,
Render,
Johnson, Richarlison, right? And then you look at the midfield, other than, let's say, Maddison and Son, who we'd say, let's say they're good players.
You've got to put Son in that as well. You've got to put Son in that.
Yeah, Son's culpable.
Son played on the left today, and as soon as he started, why is he on the left? He can't do it.
It's still awful. He's still got. Sometimes Son is getting a free pass. You've got to put Son in there. I haven't seen Son turn up for a long time.
No, but James, Son on the left is finished. He's finished.
Son up front is finished.
Huh?
No.
Son up front is finished
up front. No, he's not.
He's finished.
He's not finished up front. No, he's not. He's not Harry Kane.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. This is where I will criticise, and I'm sorry to say.
How many chances were created for Son today, James? How many chances were created?
How many times did Son get the ball in a good position and turn back and lose the ball? How many times did Son?
No, you didn't ask my question. You didn't ask my question. How many chances?
All right, there was a chance towards the end. Son was running towards it was 3-on-2, and Johnson was to the right. And rather than do anything, he just kept running and he lost in the ball. If he knocked that to Johnson, who was in yards of space, who I think is awful, he then opens the game up, but he hasn't got the tactical brain to go, right, if I give here, I know I could then make that run. He's not good enough up front.
You're talking about him running on the ball. I'm going to ask again. How many chances were created for Son today as the striker in the second half?
Yeah, but you don't get chances by standing. Yeah, but you don't get chances by standing still. You've got to make them runs. He doesn't make them runs.
Can I offer a different viewpoint on Son?
Runs for what? No one's creating any chances for him to run onto anyway.
All right, so this is where I agree. But this is where I agree with Sava, because Maddison was on that ball so much today, and not once did Son on the left or up front make a run. He stood still, and he stood still, and he stood still, and you're thinking, well, if I keep standing still, I'm going to be put through on a one-on-one.
On the left, he's done.
Even at the end, he kind of went into the center.
He's finished. Right, I think Son is finished on the left in terms of. He'll control the ball, he'll hold it up on the left, but he just cuts in now. That's all he does. He just cuts in and lays it off. I think he's a brilliant striker through the 9 against the bottom half teams. Mm-hmm. I think if you're going to play against the bottom half teams that can't defend for toffee, you stick Sonny in there. I think he's brilliant. I think you put Sonny against proper top defenders now that are in the top of their game, that are fit, that are healthy, that know how to mark. I don't think that guy is your main centre forward. You watch his goals for Tottenham, right? Yeah. You like the goals against. Look, this is what we do as a fan base, right? He scored a couple of goals against Everton. It was, oh my God, who said Son was finished? Let's be fair. Son capitalised off a really bad bit of goalkeeping from England's number 1. Mm-hmm. And then Van der Ven done all the work, laid it off, and he finished from 5 yards. I've got no doubt Sonny's going to do that against Leicester, against Everton, against. I can't even think all the crap teams at the bottom.
But Sava, he would score those goals. He would score those against a top 4. If he's in that position against a top 4 club, he would score. But he's not going to be in that position. Diaz ain't going to say.
This is wrong.
Hang on. But there's a difference against those big clubs that have got better defenders and are better organised. Sonny's natural game isn't that number 9. I think Sonny was. This is why Sonny was excellent when playing for Jose and Conte. Sonny was excellent because their game wasn't high pressed, everybody in the box like we saw today. 5 players on the edge of the area, the 2 wingers come in, the fullbacks go in. That wasn't their game. Spurs' game was hitting teams on the counter-attack. And when Son has got space to run into, he's one of the deadliest finishers in Europe. The problem is Tottenham don't play that way anymore. Yeah, teams will do what Newcastle did to us today, what Leicester did. Everton can't do it. Leicester did it. Newcastle did it. They will put 10 men behind the ball and they'll say, break us down. When we play like that, you nullify Son as a footballer. Now, normally, you can say, don't worry, shift him left, he'll get the ball, he can cut him. That's gone from his game. So I think what we're going to see all season, Son's going to score goals. I'm not doubting that. But his effect all round on a game, no matter where he plays, I think is going to become less and less and less, and we're seeing it every game. He's
I've
having
been
a
saying this for nearly a year.
You've also missed out one thing, Saba. Let me just say one thing and then you can go, Stab. Let me say one thing and you can go. Saba, you've also missed out the most important thing about that with Jose and Conte thing. He had the best striker, the best hold-up man, one of the best passers in the world, laying it into him. So when Harry Kane gets the ball, both centre-backs go, let's get Kane. That allows Son all the space in the world to run free. We do not have that. We're never going to have that again. Son's finished at Tottenham.
Guys, this is madness. Last season, Heung-min Son was our top. It's absolute madness. He was our top scorer. He was the top scorer. Hear me out. He was our top scorer at Spurs against the top 10. Just listen. I'm going to read it out. Arsenal away, 2 goals for Son. Arsenal at home, goal for Son. Aston Villa away, goal for Son. Crystal Palace finished in the top 10, but let's not say they're the best team. He scored 2, 1 away, 1 home. Liverpool away, Son scored. Liverpool at home, Son scored. Man City away, Son scored. Newcastle at home, Son scored. Guys, what you're saying is not true. He does turn up against most top 10 teams. We've got to create for him. Is he going to be brilliant in a team that low blocks, ultra compact the whole game? No, he's not. But this guy,
wait.
4 goals, and I think for some reason...
Can I say something quickly?
I never said he's not going to score goals. This is the thing.
You just said against the top 10 where teams are organised, you can't score. I just gave you 6 teams.
Hang on. Wait, can I mention something quickly?
Hang on. Let me rebuttal my point.
Sorry.
Son, I said at the end of my thing, Son will grab goals. I don't doubt that. I'm talking about his all-round effectiveness as the number 9 against those better teams. Yeah? Against those better teams.
I'm just talking about goals.
Okay, they will love playing against Son because he's not a hold-up guy. Son's best attribute has always been his pace and his finishing, right? Now, more than ever, teams are putting 10 men behind us still, right?
Not any.
Some of the bigger teams...
He's our top scorer against the bottom 10 as well.
No, but still, you forget something.
He was our striker last season still.
No, you forget something. We bought Solanke.
That's what I'm saying. That's why Son can't play left anymore. He has to play striker.
Yeah, but now...
Where does Solanke play? So where does Solanke play?
Sava, and this is what I was saying last week. This is a problem Ange has now created for himself.
I agree.
So now,
to say Son can't do it.
But now you can But now you can make the argument that Son can't do it because we have Solanke down the middle.
I think but Solanke doesn't score against the top 10.
Correct.
Look at his record.
I think Saba's points are correct. I think James's points are correct. I think Stell's point. I think what's actually happened is the forward line and the midfield has been drained of quality and Son is suffering, right? On top of that, you've got our 2 or let's say 3 best players all operating on the same side of the pitch up forward with everyone congesting on it's exactly what Saba said, on a front 5 static, not moving. And when you have that, Son is useless because he doesn't have the same qualities as Kane, as an example, who can hold up, who can bully the players, because he's easily bullied off the ball.
But for me, I think Son would work in a top 8 club, and we are a top 8. Well, I hope we're a top 8 club. Son doesn't work in a top 6 club, top 6 club and above. Son doesn't make it anymore. I'm sorry, this is my problem with Spurs fans, and I'm not digging anybody out of here. Johnson is not good enough, need to let go. Kulu's played every position on the pitch, not good enough, need to let go. Son is on the way down. What we should do now is sell him because we'll still get good money for him. But we'll wait.
That should have already been done, James.
And then what we'll do is we'll wait for Son for another season or 2, and it'll be worth nothing, and we'll let him go for free. All these players that we kind of hold on to and try it and hope and pray. It's like a religion supporting Spurs because we just try anything we can to prove that this is right, and it just doesn't work. We need to cut loose.
I've been saying this for how long now?
Agree, mate. Yeah.
If anything, I've been one of Son's biggest critics, but the thing I will not have you say that he's done. He's not done. He's not finished. That's OTT. Yeah, that's temper talking.
No, that's my opinion. I've been saying it for 2 seasons.
Okay, fair enough. But he's not done. No way. Yeah.
Let me back at that one. Let me back at that one thing before you move on, though. If he's not done, does any other top 4 start that guy? Any top 4 team, do they start that guy up front?
No.
No, but when you say he's done, you mean he's done and finished.
He's done for Tottenham. He's not done if you don't want to be top four.
Wait, let me finish.
James,
Right.
what do you mean?
He's
Start him on the wing? Wait. Start him on the wing or start him up front? Because this
I start him in Saudi Arabia.
No. Because this one. Wait. This one team yesterday, their fan base. Listen. This one team.
But Levy will never sell him anyway. So
this one fan base.
Take care, still.
Take care, mate.
Take care, mate. See you later.
I think Arsenal fans would gladly take Son because they were complaining yesterday they had no one clinical to finish their goals. I think Arsenal would take Son.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes.
No way. You have to be able to pass the ball to be in the Arsenal team.
Who didn't score yesterday? They should have won.
Havertz scored yesterday.
With 10 men. They were complaining that they didn't get a striker or another winger. Martinelli's playing horrible. He's not doing anything. Trossard only does come off the bench. He started yesterday, but he didn't score. So a team like Arsenal would gladly.
I don't think they'd want a striker like him, though, Murray.
I disagree.
My point now. Can I finish my point over on this?
No.
Can I finish?
Arsenal
trying to say it for 10 minutes.
I'm listening to Arsenal yesterday saying, man, the one missing piece that they're missing, they don't have a guy who's up front that's clinical. Yes, they score goals, but the games that they really need someone to score, they don't have that person. Son, if I'm an Arsenal fan, even saying that, I would definitely take Son. Like, yeah, it's the reason why I took Raheem Sterling because they need someone up front. It's not enough for Arsenal to overtake Man City. And yesterday was.
Wait, why are we talking about Arsenal?
No, no top 6 team will take Son. And I'm like, whoa.
No, in the starting 11. In the starting 11.
I'm sorry, Murray.
Yeah,
this is my problem, and you've got to let go. He was one of the best, but you've got to let go.
I brought up a good example. The only person up front that is of quality, like real quality up front on Arsenal is Saka.
No, I'm not hearing that at all. No.
Martinelli.
Trossard is a joke.
Hang on.
Trossard is unreal.
Hang on. We're now getting into the realm of what Spurs fans do. We look at clubs that are much better than us, with much better players, and we find a way to drag them down to our level, right? For whatever we want to say about Arsenal, right, being our rivals, let's take our Spurs hats off, right?
They're better than us.
Not one of our front three right now for me gets into this Arsenal front three. Now, there's more to it than just
Arsenal front three. Can you tell me Arsenal front three?
Hang on. But look how effective they are. This is the thing we all miss. We all talk about Son does X, Y, Z, right? Look how effective their players are in Arteta's style of play. Trossard, right? Martinelli's not in good form, so they bring in Trossard, who's in excellent form. Saka is a very good winger. Havertz is in sensational form. We can cuss him all we want. Havertz is in brilliant form, both scoring and assisting. For like the last 25 games, he's got like 21 goal/assists, right? He also runs the channels like Arteta wants. He holds up the ball like Arteta wants. He drops back into midfield and makes us an extra midfielder. So, for example, would you put Son in over Havertz right now? On paper, people will go,
not for that system.
Right, that's my point, Dan. So when we just say, name who he would get in front of, in Arsenal's system, I don't think Sonny would do well because Sonny isn't that good with the ball. Sonny's game has never been about how good he is with the ball. It's been about reactionary moments. It's been about times where he's got space to run into and he's in autopilot. When you then go and play for an Arsenal, right? That's different. I'm watching Liverpool right now. I'm watching Luis Diaz on the left wing. He pisses all over Son at the moment. Sonny has been a fantastic player, and it's a sad indictment of Tottenham's transfer policy that he is still our best forward. That is a sad indictment that 10 years later, from buying him, we still can't buy any players that are as good as a player that is, I don't care what anyone says, is going that way year by year.
Sava,
Sorry.
I said this to you when I first spoke to you.
Mari, let Dan say. Yeah, let Dan say, Mari. Mari, let Dan talk.
What you said, mate.
You bring up a good point.
No, Mari, Dan's been waiting ages. Let Dan talk. He's been waiting ages.
No, I'm just.
And I've let you two go off on it.
Can I rebuttal? Like I've been waiting patiently. No, I'm not one of those, and you know this. Like they'll say, everybody will jump in. I'm just saying that based on what Arsenal fans complain, and you know, I have even a show with an Arsenal fan. Right, the one thing that they complain about that they don't really have someone that's clinical, like up front, especially on that left side with Martinelli. Right, he's probably the weak link. Havertz, you're exactly right. Sonny cannot hold up the ball like Havertz does. And Saka, I'm not even mentioning him. He's untouchable there. But it's not too far-fetched to say, hey, they have a starting lineup of Son, Havertz, and Saka. It's not too far-fetched.
I'm sorry. Trossard is level.
Right. Can I give my bit now?
Okay. Rodero on the left, Mari. Saliba starts. Right?
No, hang on, Mari. There's nothing to do with Saliba. So in that front three you've just named, you want Son on the left over Trossard and Martinelli. Is that right?
Well, yeah, because my opinion of Trossard, and I've talked to other Arsenal fans, because even yesterday, even though he's good for their system, he is more of a super sub. He scores his goals coming from the bench, right? When Martinelli starts, he has been last season and this season not in good form. Right? About the old Martinelli, he hasn't been in good form. And Trossard is at best coming over as a super sub, in my opinion. And some
so what's Son best at?
Oh, stop it, Mari.
That's
Mari, you're digging a hole.
Hang on, but
you're digging a hole, man.
I just feel like we've got to let go.
But Trossard, when he starts for Arsenal, is a different Trossard when he comes from the.
When he starts, he's still quality. I disagree.
I disagree as well.
Can I just say my bit here
now? Love you.
Son is not done as a player. This is my only argument I've been trying to get in here, like, say with you, James. He ain't done as a player, not at all. For me, he's still one of the most clinical finishers on this planet. But no way is he getting in that Arsenal team. I'll explain why quickly, yeah? It don't match his system. For me, the way I now look at Son is like Jermaine Defoe was. For me, he's a little fox in the box now. But the problem is, when you go and playing with a team that defends with five in the middle, and if you remember, Sava, I said this to you when I came on your first show, or one of the second ones, and I've been saying this for ages on Stell's one, he cannot play in the box with five men in there. Why? Because he is too physically weak. And that is no insult to the man. He's just not built for that. Solanke will do that job better than him. Richarlison would have done a better job at Arsenal in the box than Son. But if you give Son that bit of space on the outside, or get him in a technique where he gets in the middle with a team that don't crunch him in, he will still finish all day long. He's not done as a footballer. But for what we want him to do, he's lost a yard or two of pace, which he's starting to show, but he's still got good pace. His acceleration's still good, and he's still clinical. He can't pass for come love nor money. He can't cross come love nor money. Never bloody could. And you can also blatantly see he's losing his stamina as well. He's not done as a player, but this system we play now does not fit Son in the slightest anymore.
Agreed.
That player on the left is that player on the left who cuts in with a pure pace and aggression and gets past people by kicking the ball past people and using his pace. He's done. Son is now, for me, a poacher. And that is what I would use him as.
Dan, I completely agree with you.
But I don't think not play that. No,
I don't
can I come back at that?
Yeah, just quickly, James. Just really quickly. I don't think he's done, Dan. But I'm not sitting going, he is done as a footballer. Not at all. All I'm saying is, and I think this is quite clear, and I think anybody that can't see this, I do think it is burying head in sand. He's not what he was. Now, that's not an insult. That happens to everybody.
And I agree.
Especially some footballers, most of their game is around pace. Michael Owen's the best example, right? When Michael Owen started to lose his pace, he became only effective for half chances in the box.
It's always who I compare him to.
All-round game isn't great. Now, Son, today, we saw it on the left-hand side. He's not the worst player on the team. He's not the best player on the team. But what Son is not anymore, I don't care what anyone says, he is not that star attraction anymore. No one is watching Son anymore and going, this guy is as good as Salah. This guy is like Phil Foden. Son now is a top player that is getting a bit older, and he has his moments fewer and further between. But apparently, if you say things like that at Spurs, everyone gets really offended.
Yeah. Can I have my
we should have sold him 2 years ago, Saba, when we could have still got 90 million for him. But we are too nice and accepting.
I know, but Dan, let me round off, right? Let me round off. This is what I was going to say. The problem with Tottenham is this. We do this with every single footballer. We keep them for years and years and years and years to the point where we start seeing them go like that, right? And then because we've got such strong emotional attachment to Son, we don't want to admit to ourselves that he's not that star player anymore. He's not the player and he isn't. He's not digging us out of holes anymore. He's not producing those special moments in games because he's getting older. Not because he's a bad player, not because he's having a bad year. He is getting older. If he's put one-on-one, do I fancy Son to score a goal? Yes, of course I do. If it's a game where you can't slip in a striker through the channels or behind the forwards, do I think he's effective? No. And
not anymore.
No, not anymore.
It's caught
Everyone
up with
seems
him.
to get so offended by it.
I've been saying this for over a year that it's been happening to him. Look, if I want to say it really technical, take me back to when I was 18, 21. I could go at it for 45 minutes without blinking an eyelid. I now have to get my stamina together because I'm lucky if I can last 20.
Can I sort of talk about this on thing as well?
I'm going to come to you in 1 second, Joe. Adam, listen, every other club seems to be able to move players on and not worry about it like Spurs fans do. Every other club seems to lose players regularly, move them on, they get someone else in the window. I'm not sitting here, by the way, saying you have to sell Son. But my point is we're keeping him and keeping him and keeping him to the point where people are still expecting the same Son that we had 5 years ago. And he's not that same footballer. Sorry, James.
No, but with that, that is me. I do moan when we sell our best players. Do you know why? Because we don't replace them. That's why. So that is me.
Yeah,
I'm okay to moan. Like I'm okay for us to sell. I'm okay for us to sell Harry Kane if we bring in Osterman. I'm cool with that. But when we bring in Solanke, I'm okay to not be cool with that. I'm allowed to moan. But what we're saying there about Son, and this is where, listen, Dan, I'm not digging out of you, mate. I love a good debate anyway, so it's all love. But from me, where you said things like he's like a Jermaine Defoe, a fox in the box. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. Son doesn't have the brain to be a but for me, Son doesn't have the brain to be that fox in the box.
Is spur of the moment, isn't it?
I don't think he's got. No, for me,
Defoe knew where to be and when to be there.
Yeah, that's where I'm saying. For me, this is why I personally say Son is finished. This is why I say Son is finished.
Okay.
I think unless you're playing him through on a one-on-one, so if you don't play him through on a one-on-one, I think he's a useless striker or a useless winger. And the odd 30-yarder, I expect him to smack in 2, 3 30-yarders a season. Like, he's got that ability. His finishing is still good. You don't lose that. But everything else about that player, for me, he lacks. He's not a fox in the box. He hasn't got a footballing brain to think, right, Johnson's got it. There was times today, and I don't like Johnson, but he's got the ball on the wing and Son's on outside the edge of the area. If you're all playing up front, you need to be in that 6 yard waiting for that. He hasn't got the brain to go, right, okay, he's here. Now that's my trigger run. For so long, he's been...
Even when Son was at his peak, you gave him too much time. I'd say 8 times out of 10, he fluffed it up. But Son was always best on bang, bang, job done.
Yeah.
And
that's where I think Harry Kane did all of Son's finishing.
Yeah, but
Son's thinking.
Harry Kane could predict a game like Teddy Sheringham, for God's sake. Son, if you ever give him too much time, even when he was at the dog's nuts, he fluffed it after time. Son was always better as a response player, pure split decision. Give him so long to think, and he used to cock it up. I don't think he's good enough for what we need now. Yep. But there's certain ways you can play that would still fit in nicely, is what I'm saying. But I've been saying Son's on his way out for a long time.
Can I throw a theory, Dan?
Guys, hold on. Saba, thanks for having me on.
No, sorry,
it's 12 a.m. in Malaysia now. Thanks for having me on, guys. Big love to all you guys. All I can say, right? Levy out, Enoch out. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Can I just want to throw out a theory, and I do want to wrap the show up in the next 5 minutes because I've been going for 5 hours now. For me, do you know what this is screaming out for? And Dan, I know it's something that we've talked about a lot. I truly believe if Spurs played 3 centre halves with Van der Ven to the left, Romero to the right, and Dragashin in the middle, Udogie as a left wing back, Porro as a right wing back, Bentancur and Basuma in the middle, with Maddison in a number 10 as a number 10, and Solanke and Son up top, with Solanke doing all the target man, all of that, and letting Son be the little guy that runs off him and runs into
Emil
the
Heskey,
channel.
Michael Owen.
Right? For me, I think that team finishes top 4. Right?
Really?
I think, because I think you've got 3 centre-halves that are now all doing what they're meant to be doing.
Yeah, true.
Right? Van der Ven and Romero can bring the ball out. Let Dragusin sit and be the stalwart centre-half. Porro and Udogie aren't fullbacks. They are wing-backs by trade. Hang on. Wing-backs by trade, right? You've then got Bentancur and Basuma that can do the double pivot thingy, right? And you've got Maddison that's allowed to play in his own position. You've got Son, who's now through the middle with Solanke. For me, every single player in that formation is now playing where they should be playing. As it stands, you've got Van der Ven and Romero on the halfway line committing defensive suicide because Ange tells them to. You've got 2 fullbacks that can play centre mid. They're not centre mids and they're not fullbacks. You've got Maddison being stifled. You've got Basuma sitting the deepest of all our midfielders when he's actually an 8 that should be carrying the ball, right? And you've got wingers that are ineffective. What I've just picked there removes everything that's bad about Tottenham at the moment.
The only thing you're missing, Saba, can we switch Ange for Conte with that team?
Sure. Mate, listen, you know I don't want this manager here. You know I don't want this manager. Yeah. But that's not happening. The biggest worry for me, and I'm going to get some super chats, and I am going to wrap up the show in a second. The biggest worry for me is even after a disgraceful second half versus Leicester, whatever that collapse was today, Ange is coming out and telling people that we've played well, that we didn't get the points we deserve, and half the fan base, if not more of the fan base, is going, yeah, really like this. Now, what if we now lose to Arsenal as well? We're now 1 win in 4, right? Mm-hmm. We're now 1 win in 4. And by the way, our last 10 league games, we've lost 6. We've lost 6 of our last 10 league games.
What have I been saying to everyone? These next 3 games, if it goes wrong, mate, this whole thing is going to go toxic tits up. The only bit I would possibly do different to what you said, Saba, is possibly play with a 10 and a false 9 and a striker. But apart from that, I'm 100% with you. That's the only thing I might change.
Mate, absolutely.
I have been saying this for 9 months now, if not more on here, and had row after row after row, and then even done a bloody show on it. And it's only starting to sink in for some people, whereas other people, when they heard me say it, they're like, do you know what? You've actually got a point here. This team, I keep saying it, play it the right way, you'll get more out of it. This team is more than capable than what it looks. Get Conte in as the manager now with his system, this team works.
Just
with
quickly,
Ange's system, it just don't work with any team, I don't think.
But just quickly, if the day Ange gets sacked, you know we're not getting a better manager that's going to get the best out of those players. So life after Ange is going to be terrible.
I disagree because listen, I don't think it needs the world's best manager to look at these players, right, and see that you could actually get something out of them. The problem we've got at the moment is everyone, Dan's always right. The fact that we had Conte, who was negative or perceived as negative. Now this manager goes forward, everyone thinks that's great. What we need is we just need a manager that's got a degree of common sense, yeah? Know when to go forward, know when to sit back, have the balance. But at the moment, we had none of that balance with Conte for whatever reason. We've got none of that balance with Postecoglou. I think you could bring in, it doesn't have to be a Conte or a Jose or a Pep or a Slot. You bring in a manager, right? Look at Eddie Howe, right? Look at Eddie Howe. What
you know who I would like
out of his players over and over and over again.
I would absolutely die for a player for a coach like Emery. Emery takes his team levels.
You know what I'd go for? But no. What I want now is a young manager. I actually want to look at, to an extent, what Arsenal have done, but what I'm seeing a lot of other teams do. For me, Ange is just so set in his way, like Conte, that he will only do it one way. Yeah. And I think that is down to age. Because when you get older, it's just harder to learn new tricks. We all know that's just how it goes, yeah? What I would want is the Sporting Lisbon manager or someone who's like, say, 40, 38 sort of thing.
Yeah, but
someone who can do basically what Arteta has done. And it makes me feel sick saying it, but adapt every season. Play with the bloody cards you got. If you can't get it your way straight away, get the best you can out of it and then slowly start affecting it. I want a young manager that can adapt and bring it forward to modern football.
Sorry, but you guys need to realize something. I'm not saying we're going to get the best manager like Conte, Jose. I'm not saying that. But no manager that has a brain is going to take the Spurs job. And if he takes... wait. But if they take the Spurs job, I'm going to question them. Because you know he's not going to get the backing. He's not going to get the time. He's not going to get anything.
Whatever we say, Dietrich, right? When I hear this, who's going to come and manage Spurs? We're still a top half Premier League team and they will get paid. Right? We will get managers. Whether or not it's the manager we all want, that's different. But no, we're Tottenham Hotspur. We're not going to be sitting there going, I can't believe we haven't found a manager for a year. Of course we're going to get a manager. But again, the directors of football, they're meant to be going out there and looking at who's the next big manager, who's doing really well with the squad they've got. I.e., look at Juventus just hiring Thiago Motta. They took him from a smaller team. He worked wonders, knows how to get the best out of his players. They've given him loads of young players, and now Juventus have played 2-1-2, looking decent.
Yeah, right? But they bought him one of the best. They bought him, what's his name? The DM that was Aston Villa. What's his name again? Douglas Luiz. They bought him good players. We don't do that.
But he's talking about the start. I mean, for me, I think I would have before he's moved to Bayern, the only coach I would have liked to see coming after Ange is somebody like Company. Someone that's worked wonders with loads of young kids, plays the right way, but also has a bit of a backbone. And this is where I can't defend Ange. I've tried to be as fair as I can. He's so stubborn that how can you work with that? You can't win like that. No matter how good you are, if you are the best person in the world at your job, no matter how good you are, there's always something more you could learn. And I feel like he's just like, nah, this is the way we're going to do it, mate. This is, and I can't stick up for him in that respect. It's like, I don't think that he's been backed. I don't believe that personally, but I also don't think he's helping himself by talking too much and saying things when he's just saying nothing. So
the thing is, where I disagree with that is I don't think Ange has ever managed top players before. Right? When I say I don't think Ange has never managed top players before. So hang on, it's got to be 3-0. No, it's not. All right. So when he's bringing in players now, these look like players to me that he would bring in at Celtic that would go and win the league.
Exactly.
Right? And when we're saying, oh, it's not on Ange, if it's not on Ange, keep your mouth shut, Ange. Stop telling everyone that you've been scouting. What did he say with Solanke? We've chased Solanke since June. Odegaard, one that I really liked. I wanted him since before the window, but it took time because of Solanke, right? So if you're going to keep saying all these things, James, we have to hold him to his word. Right? But we can't just keep saying he didn't want these players. He is buying these players, right? I fail to believe that if he had gone and said, do you know what? I don't want Archie Gray. Can you get me Manu Kone for 25 million? Right? I fail to believe that Levy turns around and goes, God, no, I want to pay 40 million for the kid. I fail to believe it. And by the way, Manu Kone isn't old. So why couldn't he have done that? The money was there.
No, I agree with you, and I guess we'll never know that side of things.
I'm with you as
but
well.
I fail to believe that he wants that young winger for 25 million when Eze was there for 50 million. I don't believe that when he went to say Eze, he went, yeah, no, I'd rather this 18-year-old lad. That's where, listen, we can agree to disagree. I don't believe he's saying I want these players, but I do believe he's accepting these players because there's no way he's picking this young lad over someone like Eze. He's not that stupid.
But Eze wouldn't have been offered to him. Eze wouldn't have been offered to him because of the fee to get Eze out. But listen, between it, Lang and listen, when Lang has the meetings with Ange about who they're looking at, the scout and all that, Levy won't be in all those meetings. He won't be as the owner. He might be at the main ones, but throughout the year, you're telling me that Lang and Ange haven't come up with better players, right, that sit in the middle of an Eze and a Gray, for example. Someone who's not there, but there. I fail to believe it. The guy talks a good game.
He's a bitch. And that's what he is.
And the very fact you said yes.
And Levy's one at that.
Not once, but twice. Has to say something about his judgment.
3-0 Liverpool.
It says something about his judgment. Twice he said yes to Timo Werner.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed.
He's Levy's bitch, and that's all there is to it.
I agree.
I want to do some super chats and end the show, guys. By the way, it is Man United 0, Liverpool 3. They are ripping them apart for all of those. Oh, hang on, they're in again. Hang on. They've got 4 on 3. Salah. Oh, he's just gone over. Sorry. I'll tell you what, all of these people that said Klopp's leaving Liverpool, they look brilliant. They look absolutely brilliant.
And I wanted Slot, and he turned us down.
I wanted Slot as well. Wacky Paranormal said the summer transfer window went well, right, Ange? Well, exactly. It's looking very, very poor. And the fact that he made how many subs today? And Archie Gray wasn't one of them. Archie Gray was not one of them. Again, Bergvall got 10 minutes at the end of the game.
What did I tell you, Dan? I told you Gray's a bad sign.
No, I don't. Hang on, let me. I just want to rattle through these super chats, otherwise I'm never going to go. Big up to you, Wacky. A user said Ange Ball equals playing drafts with chess pieces. Joke. Completely agreed. I think it's terrible. I just think it's terrible. By the way, when we're talking about big game players, Mo Salah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mo Salah has 10 goals in his last 7 visits to Old Trafford. That's what I'm talking about, big game players.
That's shocking.
Tony Rodriguez said, I don't care what anyone says. Ange is an effing joke, clueless and totally out of his depth. His football brain is not there. Scotland, Japan and Australia, give me an effing break. I agree with you. I think
to the point as always, Tony. To the point.
I think all the stats and the facts are showing this now. No matter how much people want to deny it, the facts are there. Daniel Leave Me has said you can't blame Ange for taking the biggest promotion of his career. I don't blame him. We'd all be the same. Yes. Blame the Joker. Blame the Joker in charge. Yeah. I don't blame Ange for taking the job. I blame Ange that he can't understand when it's not working and doing the same thing every game.
Mate, that's the best name. That's the best name. That is the best name. Daniel Leave Me.
Let me finish the super chats. Let me finish them. I'm so tired. John Stokes said PSG man is right. Son is pants. Big up John, who's then come in again and said James is correct. His passing, tackling and vision are pants. And these last two aren't super chats, but they are things, you know, when you just see lies and you think, stop lying. Sava, you say Son is regressing, but rave about Xerxes. Has anyone ever heard me rave about Xerxes?
You did say his quality.
Pardon?
You did say his quality.
When? When did I say his quality?
One man you bought him, I remember. No, you did. You did say his world class, but you just say a quality signing.
I don't think that classes as raving about.
No, not rave. Not rave. No.
Just... And Jamal, when I say we are Tottenham Hotspur, no matter what any of us think, we are the 6th to 7th richest club in world football. We will never be left without a manager. managers will come to Tottenham Hotspur. Whether or not it's Nagelsmann or Slot turning us down, there'll be another 100 managers behind that will take the job. That's what I mean by we're Tottenham.
One quick one, Sava.
Go on.
My mate Dave, just last bit I mentioned it. My mate Dave, he actually pointed out one that he would like to see us go for next when it goes wrong with Ange, not if, when. Because for me, it's on the way out. He said he's very interested and likes the Ipswich manager and thinks that could actually suit Spurs the way he's actually done it with Ipswich and that. Just a quick one on what you think on that.
Or the Brentford guy, what's he like?
I just want to imagine we're back.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough really. I haven't. That's what I mean. From what people were saying, I haven't seen enough of him. I know he was linked with Chelsea, but I know he was also linked with, was it Thomas Frank from Brentford? So that could be another.
I would take Gasperini from Atalanta. That's my manager.
There's managers all over, right? I just want a manager that's got the maturity. I don't mean in age. I mean the maturity and comfortable in their own skin. And what I mean by that is I want them to be able to look and say, right, this is how I play. It's not working because of X, Y, Z. I need to change something. But we've got a manager that's now, as I said, 13 wins in 32 games. That's not top half form. That is really bad. And the worrying thing is that ball we saw today that split us open for the second pass, that's not the last time you're going to see it. No. That's not the last time you're going to see it. So look, guys, I am going to leave it there because I'm absolutely shattered. Look, big up to everyone. Thanks, Dietrich, Mari, James, Dan. Thanks everyone for coming after the show. Hope the rest of you enjoyed. Hope the rest of you enjoyed the commentary of the show. Really appreciate it. Smash the like button. We're only 25 short of 700 likes. If you haven't subscribed to everyone on the show, please do. Please keep subscribing to myself as we're only 50 away now from 13,500. Listen, I'll say this. In barbaric disdain, just for you, what are we doing here? Take care, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Pick up everyone.